Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is Live, and in today's video we're going to be having a more laid-back discussion type video discussing why I reset my progress for Payday 2. There's some good, there's some bad to it, there's some reasons behind my decision, and I figured I've been asked once, twice by people wanting to know what's going on, and I figured for a video this week while I'm trying to revise for exams that isn't too stressful, a little bit easier to record and edit, I figured let's just sit back and discuss a little bit about what's going on and why I reset my progress. But before we do that, there are two things I want to discuss that will take less than a minute. First off, the support for the returning to Payday 2 on Xbox 360 video has been beyond my imagination. I thought that it might be a little bit more popular going back to an older version of Payday because I thought that might appeal to people, but the actual response it's had, over 30,000 views in less than a week, is mind-blowing. It's insane, and thank you to everyone who enjoyed the video, liked it, commented, and has subscribed since then. I really appreciate it so much, and I've tried my best to reply to as many comments as I can. And second off, there is a Patreon page I have now set up which you can support me and the channel directly if you wish. It's to help me get a new capture card and a new laptop to upgrade my setup. There's more details at the end of the video because I don't want to bog it down at the start, but I do really implore that even if you don't want to listen to all this video, please do check out the end. Have a listen to the Patreon section. There'll be a link on screen now to a timestamp where that section starts. But basically, I really would appreciate anyone listening to it if you're willing to find out how you can support the channel a little bit more. Either way, that's enough of me trying to plug things. Let's get into the video and talk about resetting my progress for Payday 2. So as most of you know, I've been playing Payday 2 now since 2014, where I first bought it on Xbox 360, and then a year later upgraded to the Xbox One version in July of 2015, only a month after the Crime of Edition released on next-gen consoles. But as a lot of you also know, I've had a very love-hate relationship with how the game releases its DLCs on Xbox One and PS4. I can't include Switch in this conversation because it literally hasn't had a DLC update of any notable size since the release in February of 2018. But for Xbox One and PS4, for those of you who don't know, we get a massive title update which includes a bunch of heists or characters or weapons or whatever it may be, and then they go for months without updating the game while they work on the next big update. Now, I like this style because it gives us a lot of things to go through when the game is updated. We can go for ages and just try everything, accomplish every heist, play as every character, try every new build out with these different weapons. But by the same token, you do end up spending a lot of time in between updates with very little to do on Payday 2. And usually one of the things that you would do while you're waiting is grind up and earn XP and get to your next infamy level or whatever level in particular you're going for. And the Crime Wave edition of Payday 2 for Xbox One and PS4 first released with only Infamy 1.0. In other words, you couldn't get above Infamy level 5, level 100. So by that same token, there wasn't really a lot of grinding needed to get to max level at that point. It did take some time regardless, but it was within a few months that I basically got to top level and was wondering what was coming next. Now, I knew at that point that Infamy 2.0 was a thing. I knew you could get on PC to Infamy level 25, level 100. So I knew at that point, quite simply and unequivocally, that there was going to be more to come, and so I wasn't really that annoyed that I was at max level at that time, because I knew it was coming next. It's a completely different ballgame, however, when you get to max level at Infamy 25, level 100, and you realise there isn't anywhere to go after that. You might not think it when you aren't max level, but actually earning XP is one of the most important things in Payday 2, because it keeps you going, it keeps you thinking that you've got the next milestone to get to, you have somewhere to go. It's like, I want to get to level 80 so I have enough points to get Inspire for this build. I want to get to level 90 so I can get Frenzy with Berserker and the Sociopath perk deck. You have all these things set out in your head, and you know exactly where you want to go to get to these certain parts. And of course, every time you go Infamous, you do the grind again, because you start off with no skill points, you rise up the ranks, and then go Infamous again, and it repeats itself until you reach max level. And when you don't know there's any more levels coming and you haven't got any more levels to accomplish, you lose that whole portion of earning XP, and you realize at that point that actually earning XP meant a lot more to your gameplay progression than you realized. This was the issue that I had for a year and a half after reaching the 25th level of Infamy in June 2017, according to my Xbox Achievements page, meaning that only after 9 months of the Big Score DLC being released on Xbox One and PS4, I reached max level and basically had got all the XP the game had to offer, and that's not bad considering the amount of games that might have released in that period and all the stuff I had with college exams, etc. I'm quite proud of what I managed to pull off and get it done as fast as I actually managed to. But the issue then obviously was I'd reached max level. What do I do? And the only option, if you want to get the XP back, is to either A, reset your progress, or B, do what I did because I had no bravery and no guts at all whatsoever, make a second account on Xbox and start from the beginning on that. As most of you will know if you've read my description on any YouTube video I've done in the last several months, I've listed my Gamertags as Live as my main account and RA Live PD2 as my second account, an account I made purely to play Payday, because I wanted to try being from level 0 again, but I didn't want to delete my progress on the main account. So as you might have guessed from what I've said, in December of 2018, I finally bit the bullet and cleared every bit of progress I had on Payday 2. So the first thing to discuss is, what do you lose when you reset your progress? It's actually not as cut and dry as you think, because one of the things I was most worried about was that it would forget every single job that I've done on every single difficulty. One of my main challenges, my main grinds on the game, was trying to get every single heist on every single difficulty, and if there wasn't one I've done on a particular difficulty, I would be able to look up and go, right, haven't done that on hard, let's get it done, get it boxed off. The thing that interests me about Payday 2 when you reset your progress is that is the one thing that doesn't go. If you did Goat Simulator on Death Sentence, if you are that much of an idiot like I am, and you go back onto Goat Simulator after clearing your progress, it will list and say, you've done it this many times on Death Sentence, this many times on Overkill, blah, blah, blah. It will remember that. That's the only thing that it actually solidly remembers, and I'm so glad about that, because to see that I hadn't done Goat Simulator on Death Sentence, according to the game, even when I had, would have broke my heart. Because that heist is a living nightmare, and I'm pretty sure I don't have to say why. But then, as you would imagine, everything else goes. You lose every weapon you have, you lose every skill set you have, you have to buy all the different skill sets if you want to use them again. You start with 0 cash, 0 offshore, 0 masks, 0 everything. Now, you might think from the way I'm talking about this that I thought about this on end for months. I stayed up every sleepless night thinking about it, debating, do I reset my progress, do I lose everything? No, actually it wasn't quite how it worked. My friend came onto Payday, having not played it for about 2 months or so, and reset his progress, and without a second thought, I just went, you know what, I'm doing it, I'm resetting my progress. I immediately regretted the decision, but now looking back, I'm kind of glad that I did it. The main down point for me is that I really wanted to make a video just showcasing the masks that I had. That was an idea I had from the start. It was one I was going to do if I ever decided to reset my progress, but because, like I said, I did it without even thinking, I just went straight down, reset my progress. I only realized a couple of weeks afterwards that I've never made that video. And there were some really nice masks there. Honestly, there were some that I've had since the very beginning of the game, since I started out. So that is the thing I'm annoyed about. And you might think, that's very petty. Well, this is my point. That is the only thing that I have as a downside to resetting my progress. And by that token, I've gone from not being brave enough to reset it to being really glad that I did so, because only losing masks is not really a bad thing. And now I can go on to Payday, I can start earning my money again, go on a massive grind, and actually be leveling up while I'm doing it, and piecing everything together like I've just started playing the game from scratch, and I can't tell you how really nice that is. Well, I left something out on purpose because it's something that really needs a serious mention. The lack of silent killer suppressors. I have had copious amounts of comments on videos, I've had copious amounts of people saying on live streams how they started the game from scratch on a new platform, how they reset their progress, how their friend did this, how their friend did that. And the one thing a lot of them can never find is a silent killer suppressor for the infamous Judge Shotgun, which is the top choice of a stealth weapon for anyone who knows Payday 2 very well and has played it a lot. You will probably know the Judge Shotgun is one of the best things you can bring into a stealth heist. And yet on consoles, I don't know how it works on PC as far as I know. I think it might just be consoles, who knows. But the drop rates for that suppressor are absolutely hideous. The difference with me was when I first played Payday 2 on Xbox One, I didn't use the Judge, I wasn't too familiar with it. Even when I made my one down shotgun build, I didn't use the Judge as the secondary. I think I used the Goat Simulator shotgun for some reason. It took me a while to get into the Judge, and then I realized what I was missing out on. But by that point, I played Payday 2 so much that I got the suppressors for it without even thinking about it being a challenge or whatnot. Now I've got into Payday 2 again, I'm not too far off Infamy 2, but I haven't come across a single suppressor yet. I'm going to be very interested to see what Infamy I am when it finally drops. I'll keep an eye out, I'll keep you all posted when it does happen. But that is the only other thing to consider. If you like using the Judge and you can't think of another alternative, then you might have an issue. But for those of you who are wondering about alternatives, I did recently upload a solo stealth of the transport train heist. Go and watch that for the full details. Right at the very end, the last few minutes, there's a build discussion, so skip ahead to that if you don't want to see the heist. But the point being, I used the Street Sweeper shotgun, and that shotgun had a suppressed barrel, which I'm pretty sure just came at base in the game, because some attachments you do get one of when you clear your progress. Not a lot, but there are some, and that was one of them. So I did have a shotgun still that has a suppressor. A little bit more annoying to use, but a very good alternative if you can't get silent killer suppressors, just like I am struggling to do as well. But that rounds off the fresh start discussion, and as a result, there is one more thing I want to talk about, which is something I get asked about a lot, which is how do you earn XP quickly in Payday 2? I cannot tell you the amount of people playing on consoles asking, how do I get to this level of infamy in like a week or something? How can I max out in 3 days? How can I get to this point in 2 days? And so on and so forth. I get asked this a lot. I don't have a strict formula for going from level 1 to 100. I don't have anything like that. But I will offer a few pieces of advice for things that work very well. To start off with, play Jewelry Store as your very first heist on Mayhem. It's nice, it's quick, it's easy, and it will give you a good amount of levels to get you started. You can only do it on Mayhem Mayhem because Death Sentence and Death Wish are locked initially until you're level 80 in Payday 2, for those of you who didn't know. So you can play on Mayhem or lower, but playing something like Jewelry Store and then a bank heist maybe will get you to about level 30, 40, maybe getting close to 50, and that's when the XP will start to get a bit more of a slope. If you haven't seen, I'll put an image up on the screen right now. That is the slope of XP that you need to gain in order to reach the next level, and as you can see, it gets a lot more difficult the closer you get. When you get to about level 90 or so, you need getting on to 1,000,000 XP each level to reach the next one, whereas at the very start you need like 2,000 XP. So getting to the first 50 levels or so is very, very simple, so make sure you do that as quickly as you can, make some builds, and get into some actual gameplay after that. The thing then to remember is that stealth heists, when you complete them, will give you a bonus in XP for your next job. The best one that I can think of is the Bomb Dockyard. When you complete that solo stealth, you get a 20% XP boost. So, you only get to use that for the next heist that you play. If you play a heist and then you fail it and leave, you terminate the contract, you quit to main menu, your game crashes, you get kicked, anything like that, you lose that bonus. Pick something good and go for it. My best advice is the Bomb Dockyard, 20% XP boost, go on to Cook Off and go for as long as you can. I know it's not the best, but if you want to grind, that's the grinding way. That's how I've done it to get to Infamy 1, and a bit for Infamy 2, but I'm not going to be doing it all the time because it does get a bit boring. It's just good to give you a bit of extra money as well, because obviously you need 200 million offshore to actually reach the first 5 levels of Infamy. For those of you who don't know, when you go beyond Infamy 5, it costs you nothing to go Infamous. You just lose your skill points, and you basically have to go back from the start and work the way up, but you still have your offshore and you still have your instant cash. You don't lose that at all. There's also Framing Frame, which if you stealth all 3 days of, will give you a 25% XP boost, but A, it's 3 days as long, B, I find it even more frustrating. Day 1 Art Gallery, I just hate. I've done it before, but I just really hate the mission, and I struggle to get all 9 bags without being caught. And then Day 3 is just way too finicky. I just don't like it very much at all. The whole concept's nice, but it's just too annoying for me, I'm sorry. And then finally, if you want any more XP boosts, always check CrimeNet for heists that have little pluses above the white icon. If they have pluses, it means it's an XP bonus because you haven't played that heist for a while. Make the most of it and go for it, unless it's like Ukrainian job. If you're going out your way to play something small, don't bother. But if you haven't played, say, the Bomb Dockyard or Cook Off or something like that pops up and you haven't done it for a while, use the XP boost while it's on offer and try and combine it with a stealth boost because they do stack. You can get up to 15% bonus XP from CrimeNet, and say you have a 20% boost from the Bomb Dockyard, you could get 35% more XP on a certain heist that you pick. And finally, make sure that whatever perk deck you're using, use one that has at least the first 4 cards filled in. The 4th card gives you 45% more XP for days and jobs, so make sure that that card is unlocked and you have that perk deck equipped. Even if you change later, have that. The sooner you have it, the better. Honestly, that's the best thing I can offer you. But either way, that sums up pretty much every detail I've got to say. Now, resetting my progress, personally to me was a very good decision. I've been able to grind the game again, go through everything, earn all the masks, all the weapons, and all the XP, and I've genuinely enjoyed it. But you do lose things like whatever weapon customization you had, whatever mask stash you have. I mean, if you don't like the grind of XP and you don't think you'll like it if you reset your progress, maybe it's not for you. Maybe do what I did and make another account and go up from there. But to me, resetting it has been the most satisfying decision I've made in a long time. I won't play Payday 2 all the time and grind it week in, week out because there isn't a lot of DLC right now. Maybe when an update drops, my whole attitude will change. But for the time being, it's going to be really nice that every time I go on Payday 2, I'm earning something more than just more figures to add to a billion level offshore cash bank balance. But either way, that rounds off the end of the Payday 2 part of this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. It's always very much appreciated. And if you are new around here and you want to hear more stuff like this, then feel free to click subscribe. It's quick, it's free, and I'll always love you for doing so. But either way, let's move on to the last part of this video, which will only take a couple of minutes if you do want to support the channel a bit more, talking about the Patreon page that I've set up now. As a quick catch up for anyone who's joined recently who doesn't know what's going on, because I mean 400 people have joined since last week's video, which is just insane. But basically, the situation is that I use an Elgato capture card to record my gameplay on Xbox One and, if I choose to do so, Xbox 360. The problem with it is I've had it for nearly 5 years, about 4.5 or so. And what happens is when I'm recording now on my laptop, it gets very glitchy and buggy, it freaks out, the software will cut off, audio will be cut out, it will jump from scene to scene for no apparent reason. When I'm live streaming, you may see sometimes, if you look towards the end of a live stream, perhaps on some of the most recent ones that I did, the stream just cuts off, it goes glitchy, you stop being able to hear anything, and then the stream ends. That's because my capture card decides it's had enough and wants to go to bed. So basically, I need a new one. It's got to the point where I've tried my best to make it last as long as possible. I can still get decent footage that's just offline. Live streaming is impossible at this point, I would say, with almost no doubt at all. but recording is still a bit of a challenge and I just need to upgrade it. So the problem with that is if I upgrade my capture card, I need a new laptop that can handle it as well, because the capture card I use currently is now out of circulation. I'm saving up my YouTube ad revenue, and I wish I made this 360 video last year, because January CPM is hot trash. If you're on a YouTuber, the ad revenue that you get from January is absolutely awful. I don't know specifically why. Maybe because a lot of the ad campaigns end at Christmas. I really don't know. But basically, you get a lot less. So the money that I could have got to put towards the card from that video last week, without sounding like it's all about money, because it never is. It's just nice to use towards the channel. But the money I could have got from that, I didn't get nearly as much as I probably would have done. But enough of that anyway. If you want to support this channel a bit more and help contribute towards getting this capture card, as one person already has when I announced this first on the community tab of the YouTube channel, there is a Patreon page now where you can go over, support me once a month, or just a one-off payment. If you want to cancel it right afterwards, you can do that too. You can cancel it at any time once you make the payment. But Patreon is basically a place where you can support creators if you want to give them that little bit more than just watching their videos. I mean, if you want to watch all my videos and leave the adverts on, for those of you who don't know, if you don't skip an advert, I get more out of it. So, I mean, there's that option if you want to do that for free. But if you do feel like donating to the channel, I'm going to tell you very quickly what you might get from this Patreon page if you do so. At the moment, there are 3 tiers: the $1 tier, the $5 tier, and the $10 tier. The price being how much you pay every month, or, you know, however long you want to do so for. The first tier for $1 or more is called Upstanding Citizen Vlad. And what you get in return for this is your name being featured in the outro and description of every video that I make while you're a patron. If you end your membership, then basically when the next month starts, when you're no longer a member, or a patron as they're called, I'll take you off. So if you basically sign up to be a patron on January 1st and you pay for January and you cancel straight away, you'll still be in every video until the end of January, and then when February starts, I'll take your name out. That's kind of how it's going to work. So that'll be in every outro and description of those videos. Hopefully you're going to have more benefits, but we'll just leave it quite bare bones for now until either I get more ideas from you guys or I think of more stuff. The second tier for $5 or more is called Bane's Thermal Drill. Gives you the same benefits as the last tier, but on top of that, your name will now also feature in a pinned comment at the top of every video. I do like pinning comments every now and again, but this is a much better thing to use the pinned comment for, because it's giving a bit more back to people who have helped donate to this channel and support it. So that's the extra bonus you get for the $5 tier. And then finally, the top tier, Dallas's Medic Bag, for $10 or more a month. You get everything I've talked about before, so your name in the outro, in the description, in the pinned comment. But in the pinned comment, additionally next to your name, you can have your own custom message. There isn't a specific limit to how much you can write, as long as it's not like the B-movie script kind of length, because that's just going a bit too far. But if you want to shout out your own YouTube channel, your own social media page, you want to give a message to a friend, any of that is absolutely fine, as long as it doesn't have any adult content. I'm going to say no foul language at all, purely because I don't swear in my videos, so I kind of like to keep that going. And just anything offensive or rude is going to be completely avoided. But if you want to say Big Chungus 20 times in a comment, feel free to do so. If you like dead memes at this point, if you want to shout out your YouTube channel, feel free to do that. Whatever you like, you can do it. And that's the Patreon page. There isn't much more to discuss there. I just thought I'd get into the details so you have some idea. If you do want to support it, a link is in the description. You'll also see it on screen now, www.patreon.com/RedArcherLive. Go over, give it a look, and if you can support it, even at the very lowest tier, it's very much appreciated. I don't expect everyone to, but if you can help, I would be super appreciative, because all the money from that will go straight to the fund for this next capture card and laptop. And you never know, if we get this capture card and laptop very soon, I might be able to go back to streaming very soon. We don't know. I'm going to look into Mixer as a potential substitute for the time being after my exams are finished in 2 weeks' time. But until then, until I can figure it out and until I can properly start live streaming again, I'm going to save up, get this capture card, and if you can help, I will love you forever. But either way, this brings an end to the video overall. As I said earlier, if you have enjoyed it, please do consider giving it a thumbs up, very much appreciated, and subscribe if you are new and you want to see more videos like this. If you do support me over on Patreon, I really greatly appreciate that. Honestly, it means the world to me. Other than that, thank you all for watching. If you do support the Patreon page, much love to you, but to anyone who's watching the videos, even just that is more than enough for me, so thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being part of the channel. Other than that, guys, I will see you all next week with a brand new video. Wish me luck for my exams, because by that point, I will have sat them all, so let's hope I don't keel over and die from the stress. Either way, thank you all for watching. I will see you all soon. Take it easy, and hope you have a great weekend.